podcast is brought to you by my new ebook, I Just Want to Write a Book, Damn. You can purchase that book if you're looking to be a writer and just need a little bit of a nudge in the correct direction. You can find the book at www.payhip.com/Courtney Lyric. Let's start the show. It's your girl, the Thick Writer Chick. Thank you so much for joining me. I just got to say, wow, just wow. I am in awe at what God is doing. I just thank you guys for sticking with me and rolling with me and being so welcoming. When I came back after being gone for 6 months, I appreciate it. I'm on IG. In a week and a half, I've gotten over 100 followers. So just that's for my podcast. Just look for the Thick Writer Chick podcast on IG. Add me there. I'm now on Twitter. You can add me at Courtney Lyric. And I'd appreciate that. Show me some love. Show me some love. Okay, like I just mentioned, I do have a new ebook out. It's called I Just Want to Write a Book, Damn. Because I know there are a lot of people out there who feel that way. Throughout the years, I've had so many people just ask me, in general, how do I write a book? And I've never been the type to keep the information to myself because, in order for me to know, I had to ask questions. I'm not one of those types. So what I did was put everything in an ebook that's easy to read, easy to go to, easy to just look at and follow the instructions. Even if you cannot write a haiku, if you can't write 2 sentences that sound good, it's step-by-step easy instructions to help you take an idea from, that's an idea, to an actual book. And I really think if that's something you're interested in, whether you want to write a nonfiction or fiction, definitely give it a check. Just definitely check it out. It's from the heart. More ebooks to come. And I just wanted to put that knowledge out there in an easy, accessible way for my peeps. All right, let's start the show. So, per you all's request, I love when you guys are tagging me and stuff. I'm like, watch this. I love it. But so I watched Black AF. I want to call it a beep, but technically it is called Black AF. It is a show on Netflix surrounding the writer and producer of the shows Blackish, Mixed-ish, and also the director and executive producer of movies like Girls Trip. I think it's Kenya Barris is his name. Yes. Yes. So it pretty much follows him and his wife and their 6 kids in their day-to-day life as extremely rich Black people. And it just navigates through that. His daughter is trying to put together a film to help her get into to film school, which I can definitely relate to because, yes, I do write books, but I'm trying to ease my way into the film world, so I definitely get it. In fact, the man who's the star of the show, he's definitely an inspiration to me as well. I never put a name with the projects, but I know of all his projects. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not crazy about any of his shows. I tried Blackish and it didn't really do anything for me, so I never tuned into the other issues. I've been told by family members or friends that Grown-ish is really good, but I was just so kind of not really moved by Blackish. It just never, I watched one episode of Grown-ish when they came out and they were dressed like Beyonce off Homecoming, and I thought that was kind of dope, but since I was so behind, that was season 3, so I didn't know. Oh goodness, who was that out there? But yeah, I didn't know what was going on. So if I sound a little clearer today, a little better today, it might be because a chick just got a new mic. You heard me right. I've been rocking with the Snowball. The Snowball mic for over a year, and it's been good to me, but I finally upgraded a little bit. I got the extended arm and the pop filter, and I got me a new recording a little new recording program to make things a little bit clearer, on those days when I'm a little tired. It'll help my voice. So, your girl's trying to upgrade over here, and I thank y'all for sticking with me. Even I listened off subject, and I'm going to talk about the show for real. I listened to some of my old podcasts, y'all, from the beginning, the Bird Box episode. Oh, my goodness, my stuff was jumping. It was skipping. Thank y'all for bearing with me and still loving it, still getting me. I'm almost at 1,000 downloads, y'all. So download it. Yes, download it. But I'm at over 980 downloads, which I cannot believe. Like I said, I'm just amazed at what God is doing, and I thank Him every day. So back to the show. Y'all know I get sidetracked, but back to the show. So anyway, real life, he is definitely an inspiration to me. At first, I thought that this was a docuseries, just a funny one. I guess I wasn't catching on right away. I thought it was kind of cute because, oh, okay, so this is his family. Okay, that's cool. I didn't realize at first they were actors. I was like, okay, cool, this is kind of neat. And then lo and behold, no one's related to him. They're all actors. So that kind of took the pizzazz away. I was like, oh, okay. Because, my thing is reality TV. So I was like, this is really neat. But no one's related to him. And anyway, the show is titled Black AF, and there have been very mixed reviews from the black community. So a lot of people love it. They think it's great. Think it's very witty. Something to watch and something to push. For more seasons to come. And other black folks just ain't feeling it. And I can definitely understand both points of view. So on one hand, it's a black man doing his thing, employing other black actors, other mixed race actors, and that's always a good thing. We want to see more blacks on television. We want to have our own thing. So I feel you on that. Was it just hilarious to me? No. Were there funny moments? Sure. There were funny moments in the episodes. Do I feel like it is a real life depiction of black life? No. No, I do not. Because first of all, the average black person is not worth, and I quote, $75 million. That's how much the main character is worth, Mr. Barris, in real life. That's a lot of money. So that is his current net worth. So the average black man, cannot relate to the struggles of the rich. So that right there kind of puts us in a standpoint of we can watch it and laugh, but we really don't know what you're talking about because these are rich people problems. Going to a 5-star restaurant and you and your kids acting a straight donkey with plates that probably cost $100 a piece. We cannot relate because you take your black ass in IHOP and act a fool if you want, and they are going to probably, if they don't ask you to leave, they will have you police escorted out. We live in two different lives, Mr. Barris. So there is such a thing as monetary privilege, and yes, you are still black, but there is a great deal of privilege that comes with having money. There's a freedom that comes with that. The average black person isn't pulling up in no orange Ferrari or whatever that is he was driving. So. Did I see my life? Did I see my father's life in this show? No, I didn't. So maybe it should have been called Rich and Black AF because, yeah. But anyway, and also moving forward, back to the positives. Like I said, it's a black man doing his thing, using his gift to provide for his family, to put black art into the world. You can't help but love that. Does it try? I think probably the problem that a lot of people had with it is it tried so hard to be black AF. And if something is black, it's just black, I guess if you have to scream from a mountaintop, I'm black, I'm black AF, it kind of, okay, are you sure? Or is that some sort of insecure, way of overcompensating for your lack of blackness or what you presume is a lack of blackness? I don't know. There was an uproar on the internet, on Black Twitter and on Twitter about Rashida Jones. This is the woman who plays his wife on the show. With her, on the show she identifies as black and she calls herself a black woman, but in actuality she is not. She is a mixed race woman. To my understanding, Quincy Jones is her father, and people like him, Berry Gordy, they stayed with white women. So I mean, do I definitely think it's awesome to have a legendary black father? Sure. But are you a black woman? Okay. Let's do a quick little, let's pull out our good old-fashioned dictionaries right quick and maybe clear up some words that have really been mispresented to us over the past 2 centuries and clear them up. Okay, race refers to a person's, this is like their physical characteristics, your bone structure, your skin, your hair, your eye color. Black people tend to have wider noses, bigger lips, coarser hair, and of course we tend to have tan or darker skin. So if you have these physical attributes, you are identified with the Negroid or the black race. Rashida Jones does not have those things. She does not. In fact, other than that horrible wig they had upside her head, if I saw her out in public, I probably would think she was a white woman. And there's no shame in that because, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like back in the day, we kind of sham mixed people who would try and pass for white, even though it really was just a survival tactic, you know, during like Jim Crow and slavery and things of that nature. But so we praise people today who are mixed, who identify with I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. Okay, that's cool, but what about your white parent? Is it just F them, or what about Suma? I mean, she raised you. So is it just to hell with her because you want to be identified as black? At the end of the day, that's what race is. You know, that's what race is. It's if it look like a duck and it sound like a duck, it's a duck. Not, oh, I'm half a duck and half squirrel, so I'm a duck. You know, what do you appear like? I know that sounds very childlike, but it's a simple definition that people have just kind of mixed up with ethnicity and mixed up with heritage. And race is what I just said, physical characteristics that identify you with a certain racial group. Period. So ethnicity, now this refers to your cultural factors, you know, your nationality, your regional culture, your ancestry, what language you speak. That's why you can have people like Amarla Nagler who are clearly black race, but their ethnicity is Latino. You know, they can speak Spanish all day long, but they look like somebody who stays up the block in Motown. That's because race and ethnicity are two different things. There are people who are white who are born in Africa, but guess what? You ain't black. You're not. You are a white person with, if you want to say, African heritage, sure. I mean, or you were regionally born in Africa, but you're still white. So, and I think with the one, like I said, with the one drop rule that's been implanted in our heads since fresh off the boat when people started getting raped, because that's how mixed race came to be. You know, people take a lot of pride in being mixed and feel like it makes them, you know, when I was growing up, it was like, oh, she mixed. Ooh, you know, everybody wanted to be mixed. But let's be clear, mixed race, for the most part, is a product or a byproduct of rape. This is people being brought from their homelands, being raped by their owners. That's really how that began. Not a very pretty tale when you put it like that. So, you've got that, and then it's like, oh, she's Master Tom's daughter or whatever. She looks like him. She's black because her mama's a slave. But in essence, she's really mixed race. And if she were to go and have a baby with a white man, that child is most definitely white. So, a little bit off topic. I hate to burst y'all bubble. But, Meghan Markle and little, what's her baby name? I don't know. It ain't no Tyrone. It's something definitely white, which fits him well because that's what he is. I've seen some articles calling him the first black prince, and no ma'am, no ham. The baby is whiter than his daddy. He is not black. He's white. And sometimes you got to take it back to elementary principles. We don't call gray black because black is in it. We don't call gray white because white is in it. It's a mixed color. There's a name for it. It's gray. And it's no different with biracial or mixed race people. There is a name for that race, and it is mixed race. You can have, according to what I've read here on the internet just recently, you can have more than one ethnicity. That's how you have people who are like Irish and Swedish or African and British or whatever. But you can only really have one race, even if it's a mixed race. Rashida Jones is not black. She is mixed race. Did I look at her portraying, her character and see my mother, my grandmother, myself? Not really. I mean, she held it down. I think she had funny moments. I enjoyed her character. But the whole uproar on the internet was, is she black? And they were like, well, Quincy Jones is her daddy. He is. And he likes white women. And, hence Rashida. So, I saw this one meme on Facebook that said, I don't care if her daddy was Shaka Zulu, she is still white. I get it. But, not to get all super deep with it, but I don't even feel like them two little definitions I just gave you were deep. Like, it's pretty basic. Race refers to how it look. Ethnicity is what it's made of. Where was it raised at? What's the culture? What's the ancestry? Easy stuff. And just because your great great granddaddy was black doesn't means you get to identify as black, sweetheart. I mean, you could try, but you're still something else. All right. So anyway, that was a big part of the uproar behind her character, and a lot of people still felt like for the show to be black AF, there were very few black people, like just straight up and down black folks. Probably the daughter who was trying to do the film project was the darkest character they had, and even she had the little Indian hair going on. So, and at first when I thought it was his actual family, I was like, well, that's cool. He can't control, at this point what the family looked like. But, no, these are actors, so okay. Now, when he went on Expeditiously, which is T.I.'s podcast, he explained that the reason he chose these characters is because this is what his actual family looks like. Like his current wife, well, they're divorced now, but Rania, I think it is, Renaya Barris, she's mixed race. It's a very pretty woman. I think they kind of did her no justice with Rashida Jones because Mrs. Barris actually looks more black than Rashida. So, yeah, but So they have, I think, 5 or 6 kids in real life, and even I went and Googled some pictures of his kids, and even the kids look more black than some of these kids that they chose on the show. So it's just like, cool. But if it's gonna be black AF, it would have been nice. It would have been nice if Mike Epps wasn't the darkest person in the entire series. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe a different title. He could have easily just surrounded it around his family, just like the Hughleys, the Steve Harvey show. Like, it could have been the Kenya Barris show. My Life is Kenya Barris. He chose the term Black AF when it just wasn't. It tried very hard to be. There were very valid and good points made on the show. Like when the girl would go into her little historical PowerPoints and just talk. I'm very glad we spoke on adultification because it is a very real thing. I'm glad that they spoke on how it affects black women from our safety right on down to our health care because it's very real. I know what it is like to be a child and be viewed as a grown woman, and I do believe that my black skin had a lot to do with that. I'm fairly tall. I'm 6 feet tall, and I've been probably 5'10" since I was in 6th grade. So you have to imagine being approached by men old enough to be a father, thinking that you are their age, or they knew, they knew. I mean, cause come on, I didn't get thick till I had kids, so I was a rail. It was like black olive oil. So I'm tall, I'm skinny, I'm gangly, but I'm fair game because I'm a black girl. I must be older than what I look. I must not be 12 because I'm black and I'm tall. But I went to school with girls who were my height and who were white, and they were never approached by older men in their race. Or not, I'm not coming down on, they were never approached by older men. I'm not coming down on black men. I'm just saying. I never saw them be approached as anything other than little girls who just happen to be tall. So I definitely think black girls do not get the luxury of being little girls or being viewed as innocent, and I am glad they brought that up. Like I said, the show was hella informal. It had variations of very important, just little tidbits and nuggets of the more you know. But I think maybe he just should have chose a different title. My Life is Kenya Barris. Same, the exact same show as it is. Explain to the public that they are a reflection of my actual life. I don't think anybody would have bothered at all. But when you are bold enough to put a name like Black #AF, which for y'all that don't know stands for as F word, you are really making a statement there. And if you're going to make a statement that bold and that eye-catching, you kind of have to live up to it. Rashida Jones, but anywho, so what else? Yeah, for the most part, for me, it just didn't reflect the everyday life of black people. Did they talk about very valid things, how black dads are viewed compared to dads of other races? I love the information, I really do. Need more of it. But maybe had they just tried to be a regular sitcom. Okay, how do I say this? And I saw someone say this on Facebook, and I totally agree. We grew up with shows that were black AF. You know, when I think of shows that I saw myself in, that I saw my family in, or that I would have wanted to be part of that family, I think Moesha, I think Sister, I think Family Matters, even the Fresh Prince. Now, they had a little bit of monetary privilege. They did. So more so maybe Martin, you know, the Parkers. I saw myself in those shows. They were big boned black women with big noses. Moesha was dark skinned. You know, Fresh Prince had a fade. It was just, Martin was a little short, dark skinned black guy. You know, he lived across the hallway from Shanae. And, you know, these shows were black AF without having to try so hard, without having to push the narrative that, hey, my brother, we black. You know, every second of every day, I imagine, even for the wokest of the woke, that must get very tiring, because that is literally all they talk about in this show. Like, for real, it's like every day, wake up, prove how black we are to whoever, or prove how good of or active a parent we are to whoever. It's so much proving. They need to call the show Proven. Put a little apostrophe on the end and take the G off to give it a little hood flavor. We proven. Because it's like, we proving how black we are, we're proving how good a daughter we are, we're proving how good a husband we are, wife we are, you know, just everybody proving. Like, damn, do y'all ever just live? Like, were there funny moments? You know, sure. I'm trying to think. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I had to think kind of hard. When he met up with Tyler Perry, which I'm not surprised to see him, because that's another one that black people are on the fence about. It's some of us that love him, and some people can't stand Tyler Perry. He inspires me just like Mr. Barris does. In fact, more so, I'm really inspired by Tyler Perry. But it's his repetitive narrative of the despaired black woman struggling to get by, who needs her man, getting on people's nerves. It is. So, so anyway, there was an episode where he met up with him, and he was so blue. Like, if you follow Tyler Perry, I've never really heard him drop an F-bomb, but he's been getting a little more blue in his films in the past few years anyway, but that's another thing. But anyway, he meets up with Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry's just like, I don't give a F these people. And I had to look twice. I was like, Tyler? Like, I guess he got to show he black AF. He said, I don't talk about the Lord all the time. I don't give a fuck. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I did enjoy the episode where they brought the panel of black writers. Oh, what a moment. I just, because like I say, y'all stick with me. Your girl is going places. And it was like Issa Rae. It was Ava DuVernay, the one who, the lady who did Queen and Slim. There was another black writer. I can't think of who he is off the top of my head. But, and they were like on a Zoom call or something with him, discussing a movie, and I was like, man, this is a lot of black excellence in one scene, I was like, can't wait till the day that I'm on the Zoom call. But anyway, that was a good moment in the show. Another thing that they did point out that I think is hella valid, and it was funny, but I'm glad they pointed it out. There was some movie that they kept bleeping out. Wouldn't say the name of it, but it was garbage. But because it was all black, it was like people were afraid to critique it because the world is so PC. It was like black people praised it because it was all black, and then white people were scared to say it's garbage because it was all black, and they didn't want to get viewed a certain way for speaking on black things. And do I think that happens a lot? Yes. I think it happens a lot. And so it was very bold of them to include that, include that in this show, because I do think a lot of black products that are garbo get by simply because it's all black, and how can we grow? And as a writer, I get it, just like with Tyler Perry, hate to say it, but you cannot grow as a writer if you cannot receive critique. Yes, on one hand, you don't want to give an F and you want to cater to your audience, but also you have to be open to growth. You have to be open to change. You cannot wear the same pair of socks every day and think that they won't stink. Sometimes you got to change stuff up. And even with this particular man, Mr. Barris, like, is this to be his catalog? Outside of Girls Trip, everything else is black AF, black-ish, mixed-ish. Like, is everything in your body of work surrounded by race? Now, one thing I will say about Tyler Perry is he employs nothing but black actors, but he doesn't have to stand on a hilltop and say, my stuff is black as fuck. Pardon my language. Well, I guess it slipped. because he just puts the black people in there. Is the racial issue a thing? Yeah, it is. It is, and things, and it should be spoken on. It should, but every episode, I think, like I said, shows like Family Matters, Moesha, they spoke on racism and police brutality and generalization and stuff like that as well, but they did it subtly. That would be like every fifth or fourth episode. All the other episodes were everyday life, and that is why we consider these shows classic. I'm gonna keep it a book. 10 years from now, we are not going to be talking about Black AF. It is not going to be considered a classic. I think it will be back for another season, but that is because of the popularity. And it picked a fine time to drop. It dropped during a pandemic when everyone's at home. So whether it was garbage or not, everybody watched it just to kind of see. I'm not going to lie. Now that I've seen the first season, it was a pretty short season, like 6 episodes. The ending was a little, if a second season came out, would I be breaking my neck to watch it? No. I think it was super overhyped. Was it informative? Sure. Overhyped? Definitely. It wasn't that funny. It just wasn't. It was informative, cool, but it was a lot of, I don't know. I saw another person describe the show as, this is the type of show that you present to white people to try to explain black people. Even though it's called Black AF, I do not feel like it was really catered or centered towards black people. I just don't. I really don't. Like, our culture is so rich and vast, and I just didn't see very much of it in there. And even if in real life his wife is, white as powder, like that movie Powder, I still think he should have had him a big booty, pretty black woman with brown skin as his wife. It's a television show. It's not real. It's a fiction show, and if it's gonna be a documentary, then make it that. But it's not that. It's a scripted fiction show. So, from my understanding, a lot of the writers on the panel were white. Now, I did see that he wrote the first 2 episodes himself, but, don't be like Tyler Perry, baby. That's one thing Tyler need to work on. There's so many hungry black writers out here with so many good ideas, and I say that because I am one of them. Yes. They got shows, they got scripts, they got characters that they've been just sitting on, waiting for an opportunity, and because you got the money, you want things to go a certain way, and it's your name, and it's your brand, and I get it, you putting out the same thing over and over again. I'd be willing to bet if I gave Blackish another chance and watched a few more episodes, it probably would ring very similar to Black AF. So you just putting out the same show over and over again. Possibly. Now, I can't really vouch because I didn't bother to watch Mixed-ish. It didn't look entertaining. What's next? Light-skin-ish? Like, I don't know. So you utilize you want to be Black AF, utilize some of these black hungry writers and directors, the ones who have no big name. Even the ones that do. He could have hooked up with Ryan Coogler and made something better than this. Anybody, was Izza busy? She could have, collabed. I don't know, but people, we want to be sometimes the ones at the end of the day to say, I did it by myself. I did it my way. This is all me. And if somebody else helps you with that or you collaborate with someone else on that, then you can no longer take all the credit. But take it. If it's good or if it's bad, when the reviews come in, take it and take it all because you didn't want to collab. You didn't want to reach out and talk to other black writers and directors. Who did he bring this script in front of and be like, y'all check it out and tell me what y'all think? And they said, oh, this is good. Was it a panel of black people? Or was it like he said on the show, was it a panel of black people who are on his payroll who would probably be scared to tell him this ain't it? Like, what? I don't know. It was straight, to say the least. I do think it was a bit overhyped. It wasn't just the most hilarious thing I've seen. No. Honestly, there's another show on Netflix. I think it's called Family Reunion. And if I had to say funny wise, even though it seems like a little more of the, daytime television, it's actually a little bit funnier. But it's not getting the praise and the hype and what's the word? Okay, we'll just say praise and hype. It's not getting the praise and the hype and the all that, the attention, that's what I was looking for, of Black AF, even though it surrounds, and Tia is mixed race. Technically, I call her black because, once again, race is a physical person's characteristics. If you saw her on the street, you would not be like, oh yeah, she's definitely mixed. She could, I guess, pass for black, whatever. So, I don't know. So it's just, if you liked it, I don't think there's a right or a wrong. If you got something out of it and you enjoyed it, good, because it is an informative show. You can learn a lot. Like I said, they did their little PowerPoint presentations and would, get us up to speed on different things, and it was very informative. That I did like. But would it be nice if the family would have just kind of chilled and relaxed? It was such a power struggle between the wife and the husband. It was always like, I think they came out and said it. It was like it didn't show them as a team. It was like, I'm trying to be better than you, you're trying to be better than me, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do that. Like, even though she was getting things done, he didn't necessarily like the way they were getting done. He felt like she wasn't really pulling her weight anymore, and that she got really lax, and she felt a different way, like she wanted to do her lawyer thing, and I don't know, Chad. So I think the season ended with the two sisters kind of falling out. The little bit older sister had got her little boo thing, and the younger sister was just kind of left hanging. Talk about Black AF. They literally ended the show vacationing in Fiji. Can your black ass relate? No. I thought Fiji was water. It just doesn't represent the life of the everyday black person. Like, these are rich people problems, and it's, you know what? On God. On gang. Somebody email him and tell him to change the show to Rich People Problems. And I promise a lot of this backlash he been getting, he won't get. And the show actually is still, the title is still catchy, and it's still reminiscent to the show. But Rich People Problems sounds a lot less black and down with struggle than Black AF. I don't know. Like, that was the big dilemma of the last two episodes. They couldn't decide whether they're going to vacation. Are we going to go to Bahamas? Are we going to go to Fiji? Like, this is not the typical problem of the average black family. Like, have you looked around? We're in a pandemic. It's people literally not getting paid right now, But, you go do this, and you tell your dad you said you wanted to go to Fiji, and da-da-da, and just, I don't know. Now, there were funny parts with, like, the kids not being able to dance, and is that kind of a rite of passage in the black culture? Indeed it is. You're just it's just like she said, like she did say, it's like a security card if you can dance. You in there if you can dance, and I totally agree with that. When I was in high school, even though I could write, I was the go-to if you needed a poem, if you needed a picture drawn for your girlfriend, I was the go-to, but I could not dance, and that's what I wanted to do more than anything, because nobody was getting at the parties, making a circle around the girls who could write poems. Okay? They was getting, like, Sierra was real big at the time. They was getting around the girls who could do the back bend like Sierra, who could pop it, drop it, do the splits and the crybaby. And I was like, this is whack. So I get what she's saying. It's definitely a rite of passage to know how to dance. But this is a new age. Like, there's so many other ways of just being beautifully black. As a kid, of course, I was like, I need to know how to dance. But there's so much beauty and blackness in all the gifts. Like, we are so creative. Totally off subject, but even during this pandemic, people have been harpooning on, air quote, the negativity that black people have been presenting, the videos going out of us doing this, that, and the third. But look at how we rose to the occasion and started decorating masks, making TikTok videos, the Don't Rush Challenge, making masks that match head rags, that match purses. I think I spoke on that in the last podcast. But you cannot tell me black people, especially black women, are not dripping in creativity in art. Because we are. The Don't Rush, that was started, I don't care who doing it now. The Savage Challenge, that was started by Megan Thee Stallion, and she is a black female rap artist. The TikToks and the Don't Rush black family started that. So I gotta say, yeah, dancing is like It's like the hood, yeah, the hood love a dancer. The black folks love a dancer. But it's so many other beautifully artistic ways to be black because I feel like we embody all the arts. So for me, it was I'm actually watching Ozark right now, and it is 3 times more entertaining than Black AF. So, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I think he should have explored other writers. It was a wee bit more corny than funny. Is it something I would be breaking my neck to watch next season? No. And I don't even know if it's going to have a 3rd season. It's definitely going to have a 2nd one because it's been hyped up so much. But, me personally, 2 of the kids look white. I'm just like, where is the Black AFness? But, I mean, they got Rashida in this horrible wig. I'm just like, I just didn't get it. I don't know, but hopefully that just cleared up a little bit of the confusion. There were a lot of people that were just going hammer trying to just let me say this. It's on subject, but it's off. I think any race is allowed to be the gatekeepers of their race. If white people say you ain't white, you're not white. And equally so, if black people say you ain't black, my mans, you're not black. You're mixed race, And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. You want to identify as black, cool, but please do not get offended when people like, if someone is like, hey, you're not really black. What you mean? Okay, you're right. I am mixed. I'm biracial. You got that. Carol's my mom. Tyrone's my dad. It happens. I had no choice in the matter. Appreciate it. But bringing those beige tears and telling clearly black people about your struggle and how you never identified as this or that. It's real, and I'm not saying it is real, but in the light of the harsh racism that darker skinned people have received over the years, your beige tears about how you just was picked on because you was light skinned and they called you light braid and they made fun of you because you were pretty and you had good hair, they just pale in comparison. They really do. So, Rashida can have several seats. She's, if she feels any sort of way, honey, bye. Bye. I wonder if in the other projects that she's acted in, was she so prominent about being identified as a black woman, or what was she going for? I haven't seen her in nothing else, so I don't know. But yes. So, honestly, it's one of those that was just popular. It had a really catchy, feisty, eye-catching name, which is smart and it's good marketing. But when you get a name that is so powerful as that, you have to live up to that standard. And do I feel like the show lived up to the name? No. I think he probably could have called it, like I said, Kenya Barris and Family, The Kenya Barris Show, Rich People Problems. Like, there are so many other still catchy titles he could have used that would not have held him to this accountability of proving that the show was definitely Black AF, because it definitely really was not. Even in his panel of workers, other than his, stereotypical, just dripping in stereotypes, best friend who has the kids that he does nothing for and is always over his house, there weren't, other than one pretty black girl, there weren't even any other black people that worked for him. Like, how is this Black AF? Sir. Like, you don't work for Kinko's. This is your business. Like, you can hire as many black writers as you want. And even on the show, he would not. But it's because, in all essence, I don't really think it was made to cater to black people. I don't care if it's called Black AF or not. There's still so many white faces in that show because he needed white people to approve of it. Oh, yeah, I said it. He needed their okay on it. He needed them to laugh with us. Notice in Family Matters, I can't recall one white character. And you know why? Because it was for us, by us. It was FUBU, baby. Okay. Well, it might have been some little classmates here and there, but the whitest thing on there was Lil Richie. Because it effortlessly put black people in the front. And this show is trying super hard to do that, and it's failing. But you like it, I love it. Will I be breaking my neck to watch season 2? No. Like I said, I'm on Ozark right now. And a part of me was about to get offended and be like, ain't no black people here. But you know what? Now that everything doesn't have to be integrated. You know, we don't got to be included in everything, because like I just said, I'm perfectly fine with not seeing a single white face in Family Matters, and I'm okay with there only being the one black face in Ozark, because I don't know no black people that would live in that crazy little town. Do you? Hell no. All that crazy shit, I wouldn't be living there. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. Definitely want to thank you for tuning in. If you like it, share it, subscribe it. You know, like I said, hit me up on IG, the Thick Writer Chick Podcast. You know, you gotta do those little underscores. So it's like the underscore chick underscore, you know, so. And also on Twitter, you can just look me up at Courtney Lyric. If you're interested in writing a book, definitely check out my new ebook. I just want to write a book, damn. And that's, again, is at payhip.com/Courtney Lyric. God bless, and thank you for tuning in. Y'all enjoy your weekend.